Let's start by talking about a few words that you might hear people using, such as apps, tiles, and icons. People often use these words interchangeably, and for all intensive purposes, that's okay, but they do have a little bit of a different implication I wanted to clarify. Icons, for example, are the images for each app on the screen, and tiles are the squares that hold the icons for each app. And then the apps are what really are the programs and the applications that you can open up and work with and engage with. But they're all linked together, really. And so if you do hear those words, just keep in mind that people are referring to the applications that you can work with on your screen, unless specifically stated otherwise. The other thing to talk about would be the layout of apps. For an iPhone, typically you're going to find that they're four apps across, so they're in columns and rows. But on an iPad, some iPads have a bigger screen, right? So they're going to have up to maybe 6 apps going across. So in general, just think of the apps laid out in columns and rows in a grid, and they could be between 4 to 6 apps going across. At the bottom, you'll have your favorites, and that is in the docking station, in the dock. So in the dock, you'll have up to 4 to 6 apps at the bottom, no matter what page of apps you're on. So, for example, if I'm on page 2 of my apps, I'd still have my favorites at the bottom. If I were on page 50 of my apps, good luck to me for having so many pages, but at the bottom would still be those 4 apps, and I'll show you that now. So at the bottom of my screen in my dock, I have
Dock, phone, Safari, messages, mail, no.
So I have phone, Safari, messages, and mail. Those are at the bottom. They stay there no matter what page I am on with my apps. So let me touch one of my apps, on page 1, which is also referred to as the home page. I'm just going to touch up higher anywhere on my screen.
Entertainment folder, 21 apps.
Okay, and
news folder, books folder.
So you hear
12
entertainment,
apps.
news,
double tap to open.
Entertainment, news, books, that kind of thing. If I moved to page 2 of my apps,
page 2 of 3, podcasts folder, 3 apps.
I have different apps
double
here
tap
up
to
above
open.
in the grid.
Navigation, compassion, Amazon Alexa, Google folder.
Okay,
5
but
apps.
at the bottom, I still have those same favorites in my dock.
Dock, phone, Safari, messages, mail.
Right?
No.
They're all still there. Okay, so they would be there no matter what. So you really want to put things that you use a lot down in that dock. So the next thing we could talk about is how to change the pages of your apps, right? Well, how did you move to that next page using Voiceover? Again, remember, everything is with Voiceover in this introduction to Voiceover, lesson 2, talking about apps. So to change the pages, we have 2 methods we can use with Voiceover. The first being you can take 3 fingers and put them vertically up and down and keep a little space between them. Doesn't have to be much. And then slide all 3 fingers from right to left.
Navigation page 3
There
of
we
3.
go.
Wordle. Double tap to
By
open.
the way, the reason you heard that bong was when I was in the dock, if I'm in the dock and I try that gesture, it won't let me do it.
Dock, phone.
Okay, I'm in the dock in phone, one of my favorites. If I try to turn the page, see, it won't let me.
Phone.
So I have to touch somewhere up in the actual grid of all the other apps.
Ear catch.
Okay, and now I can move. And if you want to go the other way, right, to go backwards, instead of page 1, 2, 3, I want to go back 3, 2, 1. I take my 3 fingers, keep them vertical, little space, and slide from left to right.
Page 2 of 3. Podcasts, home. Page 1 of 3.
Okay, and it says home, page 1 of 3. So it tells you how many pages you have. And that home page is page 1. Okay, so the next thing would be the other method would be to touch the bottom middle of your screen about an inch up. If you have a home button, it's likely right above that. If you don't have a home button, you're going to kind of pretend to go a solid inch up in the middle of the screen if you're holding your phone portrait.
Search, page 1 of 3, adjustable. Activate to open Spotlight. Swipe up or down with 1 finger to adjust the value.
Okay, I wanted you to hear what it said because it said a few things. Activate to search with Spotlight. I'll talk about that in a minute. Sorry. But the other method would be to take one finger here after I heard that, because what you hear is where you are. Remember that? You're going to hear that a lot. What you hear is where you are. So if I take one finger after I've heard this, it's adjustable, meaning I can flick up or down. When you hear adjustable, typically it's going to be one finger up or down to manipulate that. So I'm going to take one finger and flick up.
Page 2 of 3.
There's my page 2 of apps. Flick up again.
Page 3 of 3.
Okay, and if I flick down with one finger,
Page 2 of 3. Page 1
I'm
of
back
3.
to page 1 on my apps. Okay, so those are two methods to move from pages of apps forward and backwards. You can really do whichever one works for you. It doesn't matter. This is what's great about it. There's more than one way to do things. The next thing to think about is, the layout. How are you going to arrange your apps? It's really important to become familiar with your apps. I'm not saying you have to know exactly where each app is always, especially say you had 10 pages of apps and you've got folders with apps inside them. You're not really going to remember all that. You don't have to. But it's good to know maybe where you want to place things. So after the dock, you want to put all your most used apps on the home screen or page 1 of your apps, and subsequent, apps on the other pages as they fill up. So the other thing, then you can think about the edges, right? So this is all about VoiceOver. You want to be able to access an app fairly readily. Now, if you wanted to use Siri, of course, you could ask Siri to open any app, right? And that's really a quick way. Let's, just being realistic. But we also are talking about VoiceOver. So we want to be able to get to an app, especially if we're going to start moving apps. We got to be able to know how to get to them. So use the edges, the right, column, the right edge of your phone, the left edge of your phone, and placing things there that you commonly use helps you to then navigate quicker to them. So I know, for example, if I touch about halfway down the right column, the right side of my phone,
Settings.
boom.
Double tap to open.
There's settings. I knew that was there because I put it there, and that's where I wanted it. I know I have a vision folder in my lower left area on the left side of my phone.
Vision folder. 16 apps.
Okay. So knowing these things just helps you, so a good memory never hurts. But otherwise you could just start at the top, about a half inch down from the left, touch the screen.
Weather. Portsmouth. 30.
And start flicking to the right, like we learned in our last lesson, and you would move forward to hear all the apps until you reach the one you need.
Carnival. Photography. Remind. Social. Calendar. News. Books. App Store. iTunes. Health. Games. Wallet. Music. Language. Settings.
So do you see how much I had to flick to the right to get to settings using that method, as opposed to knowing I put it on the right edge about halfway down or so, and I can just touch that spot?
Settings.
I found it right away, see? So that's what I mean about, kind of be thoughtful about where you want to place things. Think about what you're going to put in a folder. So if you have, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, all that stuff, you might want to think, I'm going to put all those in a folder, and it would be an entertainment folder. If you have, things like WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram, you might want to put those in a folder, and I have one here.
Photography folder. Social folder.
Social folder. I have all those in that app. I have an entertainment folder for the other. So you want to think about how you're going to organize your apps to get started, okay? Now let's get into some of the action. Let's move an app. All right, I'll show you how to move an app. Let me pick one that I don't mind moving today.
Wallet.
I'm going to pick.
Double tap to open.
I'm picking Wallet. So I touched Wallet. I knew I kept that on my left above the Vision folder, so I could get to it pretty quickly. So now I want to move it. I'm going to move it to another whole page. Okay, I'm going to flick down with one finger.
Edit mode.
And there's edit mode. So I'm going to double tap with one finger because I want to activate the edit mode.
Started editing.
Okay, and it confirms started editing. I'm going to flick it down again.
Delete.
Now you've learned quickly here how to delete an app without even me having to teach you, but we'll reinforce that a little bit again later. Let's flick down again.
Drag wallet.
Drag wallet. I want to drag the wallet somewhere else, so I'm going to double tap with one finger on that.
App Store is editing.
Okay. Now I want to go somewhere else. I want to go to a different page. I'm gonna touch the I'm gonna do it with the method where I touch in the middle of the screen about an inch up
Search. Page 1
from
of
the
4.
bottom.
Adjustable. Active. Page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4. Page 4 of 4.
Notice it gave me 4 pages. Before I only had 3 pages of apps. Now it gives me a blank 4th in case I want to move something to a new page. So I'll put it in here just for example's sake. So I'm just going to touch the screen in page 4.
Empty page.
Empty page. I'm going to flick down.
50%.
Whoops.
Empty page. 45%. 50 words. Speaking rate. Audio ducking.
I guess it won't let me do that.
Speak words. Character actions.
There we go.
Activate. Move wallet to empty page.
Sorry about that.
Drop ready.
How to turn the rotor, which will come in another subsequent lesson. All right. So I'm going to flick down. You'll hear these choices again.
Cancel drag. Activate. Move wallet to empty page.
Move
Drop
wallet
ready.
Move wallet to empty page.
Drop complete.
I double tapped
is editing.
because I double tapped because I wanted to do that. I wanted to move it here. So I'm going to flick down again with one finger.
Stop editing apps.
Because I need to stop editing apps. Otherwise, I'd keep doing crazy things and you'd be having a big mess on your phone. So double tap here.
Finished editing.
Okay. So now I can go back to this. I'm going to use the 3-finger vertical aligned and slide from left to right.
Page 3 of 4. NYT. Page 2 of 4. Home. Page
I'm
1
at home.
of 4. Weather.
Now,
Portsmouth.
If you remember, I said wallet was right above my vision folder. So let's touch. My vision folder isn't even in the same spot anymore.
Ring.
Because once I
Double
moved an
tap
app
to
out,
open.
it rearranged all the grid. It all kind of filled in for me. So it's not even there anymore. It's
folder.
now on the right side. It got moved because I took an app out, and now the grid kind of assigned itself to where things needed to be. So now I'll do this again. It's good to do things a couple times. I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to move wallet back into my home screen. Okay, so I got to go to page 4. I'll use the 3 fingers, right?
Entertainment fold. Page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4.
3
Wordle.
fingers vertical and sliding from right to left.
Page 4 of 4. Wallet.
Right. So it said wallet.
Double tap to open. Wallet. Double tap to open.
That's the only app I have in here. Okay, so I need to get to the edit so I can work with this. And so I'm going to flick down with one finger because I heard wallet. That's the one I want to move. What I hear is where I am. So now I can flick down.
Edit mode.
Edit mode is what I want to engage with this. I'm going to double tap with one finger.
Started editing.
Okay, now I'm going to flick down again with one finger.
Delete. Drag wallet.
I have to drag the wallet to get it out of here. So I'm going to double tap with one finger again. Okay, now I'm going to go to a different page. I got to get back to the home.
Open. Is editing.
I got to get back to the home screen.
Page 3 of 5.
I'm using the 3 fingers,
button.
sliding left to right.
Chat GP. Page 2 of 5. Add widget. Shopping. Home. Page 1 of 5.
There's page 1.
Add widget.
Now, let's see. I have to think. I want to put it back how I had it. And if I have
vision folder
here,
apps.
I think I have to go back a few. I'm going to flick left.
Settings. Languages folder. Music folder. Games folder. Music folder. Editing. 8 apps.
I think I want it before music. So I heard music. Okay, so what I hear is where I am. So now I'm going to flick down.
Stop editing apps.
Flick down again with one finger.
Drop wallet after music folder.
I want it before it.
Add wallet to music folder. Cancel drag.
Well, I guess I got to go one more over.
Games folder is editing.
I flicked left.
15 apps.
I flicked left because I decided I wanted after games. So I heard games. What I hear is where I am. I'm going to flick down with one finger.
Stop editing apps.
Flick down again.
Drop wallet after games folder.
And
drop ready.
That's what I want. So I'm going to double tap.
Drop complete.
The drop is complete. I can now stop editing by flicking down with one finger.
Activate. Default. Stop editing apps.
Flick down till you hear stop editing apps and double tap with one finger.
Finished editing.
Now let's see if I can remember if I actually put it back to how it was.
Games folder. App Store. Vision folder.
Vision folder is
16
back
apps.
there
Games folder. 15
on the bottom
apps.
left.
Wallet.
Wallet, I did
Double tap to open.
put it on the right now instead of on the left. That's okay. So that's how you move the apps around. Now, I think the next thing to logically talk about would be to delete an app. Let's find an app I want to actually delete. Nothing on this first page I don't want to delete anything here. Chances are it'd be page 3 if I want to delete anything. So let's try the method where I touch about an inch from the the bottom middle of the screen.
Search. Page 1 of 3. Adjustable.
And I'm going to flick up.
Page 2 of 3. Page 3 of 3.
Did you hear now I have 3 pages of apps because I took Wallet out of page 4. I only have 3 now. All right, so I'm on page 3. Let's see if there's something I want to get rid of.
Do not 650.
So I'm going to touch about a half inch
Double
down
tap to open.
or a quarter inch down from the top left because I don't know which app I want to get rid of. So I'm going to hear what apps are here and work my way through it. So to get my best starting point for navigation, I touch about a quarter inch down from the top left and touch the screen.
Wordle.
I enjoy Wordle.
Open.
I bet some of you play that as well. I'm going to flick to the right.
Bose Music. Fossum. Google Home. Authenticator. Nova. Double tap to HW Buddy. FIS. Eversource. ChatGPT. Travel Stories. NVDA 2000. NYT Games. NYT Games.
I think I'll get rid of NYT Games.
Double tap to open.
I'm going to get rid of NYT Games. So I'm going to flick down with one finger.
Edit mode.
I have to double tap to start editing.
Started editing.
Okay, now I'm going to flick down again with one finger.
Delete.
And there's delete. So here's what happens when you push double tap on delete with voiceover on. I'm going to do that.
Alert. Remove NYT Games.
Okay, it says remove NYT Games. It sounds like a question mark, like you might have to double tap again, but you don't. There's no button. There's nothing here to tap on yet. So you have to flick to the right because it's going to ask you to confirm. This is nice, actually, because it won't just delete an app, too easily. You will have to confirm, and that is very good for, not accidentally getting rid of apps. So let's flick to the right with one finger to move ahead, right? To see what our options are. I'm moving ahead or down a list of these options.
Removing from home screen will keep the app in your app library.
I could just move it from the home screen, but it would still be in the app library, and I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to flick to the right again.
Delete app button.
Okay. Here's where I could delete app and double tap on that button. It would, be deleting it. But if I flick right again to move down the list, of options.
Remove from home screen button.
Okay, remove from home screen.
Cancel button.
Or I could cancel. Okay. I am going to delete the app. I don't really need it. Now I want to go, I went past what I want for a selection. I went beyond it. The gesture I used that we talked about in lesson 1 to go backwards or up a list is to flick left with one finger. Let's do that.
Remove from home screen. Delete app.
Delete
button.
app. I want to delete the app. I'm going to double tap with one finger because that's what I would like to execute or activate.
Alert. Delete NYT Games.
Okay, it's asking me yet again. I'm going to flick to the right to hear my options or move ahead.
Deleting this app will also cancel button. Delete button.
I'm going to delete here. I double tap.
Wordle.
Okay, I double tapped with one finger to get rid of it. So as you see, it's not, going to be that simple to just delete an app and say, oh my gosh, it's gone. What did I do? That kind of thing, right? So now let's talk about folders. We can create a folder. What can I create a folder with? So basically, if you want to create a folder, you can move one app on top of the other, and it creates its own folder. And then you can continue to add other apps into that created folder. Okay, so
Wordle.
Let's see.
Wordle.
I have Wordle here.
Double Wordle.
What if I'm going to move Wordle, so I'm going to flick down.
Edit mode.
Double tap on the edit mode.
Started editing.
I'm going to flick down again.
Delete.
Flick down again.
Drag Wordle.
I want to drag Wordle, double tap with one finger.
Bose Music
Now,
is editing.
let's just put it with, I'm going to flick to the right to see what I want to put it with.
Fossum is editing. Google Home is Authenticator. Nova. HW. FIS is edit. Eversource. ChatGPT.
Let's put it with
editing.
Let's put it with ChatGPT.
Double tap to add to drag.
Sorry, let's put it with ChatGPT and see what comes up. I'm going to flick down with one finger.
Stop editing apps.
Again.
Add to drag session.
Again, flick down.
Drop Wordle after ChatGPT. Create new folder with ChatGPT and Wordle.
Okay.
Drop ready.
That's what I want to do. I'm going to double tap with one finger.
Drop complete.
Okay.
Opening folder name. Productivity.
Now.
Text field.
It
Double
says folder
tap to
name.
edit text field.
Folder name productivity. And I can change the name of this folder if I don't really like the name productivity. That really doesn't tell me too much about ChatGPT and Wordle, right? So
folder name, productivity, text field.
Okay.
Double tap to edit text field.
I can double tap to edit this
Finished
text
editing.
field. I'm going to do that. Double tap.
Productivity. Closing productivity folder. Bose Music. Nova.
Oh, I closed it. I'm sorry.
HW Fizz.
Now I got to find it.
Nova. Authenticator.
Let's find it. I can
Google
get back
Home.
to this.
Productivity
There it
folder.
is.
2 apps. Edit mode.
Edit mode.
Started editing.
Okay.
HW Buddy is Nova. Authenticator is editing. Nova is at HW Fizz is editing.
Oops. Hold
Nova
on.
is at Authenticate. Google Home. Fossum. Bose Music.
Ah.
No. Fizz. Eversource. Productivity
There it is.
folder.
Sorry about that.
Is stop editing apps. Drag productivity. Activate.
Let's
Default.
say I'm going to move this whole productivity folder and add it to something else.
Drag productivity folder. Nova is editing.
Okay. I'm going to move it to
Authenticate. Google Home. Fossum. Bose Music. Done. Bose Music.
Bose
is
Music.
editing.
Bose Music. I'm really making a mess here. Let's flick down.
Stop editing. Add to drag session. Drop productivity folder before Bose Music. Drop. Cancel drag. Activate.
See, you
Default.
can't do it that way. You cannot move. This is what I wanted to show you, that you cannot move a whole folder and plop that into a single app. But watch this.
Stop editing apps.
Let's stop that.
Finished editing.
But I can do it the other way. So you can't move a whole folder over one app. But you can take one app, like Bose.
Bose Music.
Let's flick down.
Activate. Default. Edit mode.
Double tap to edit.
Started editing.
Right, because I heard Bose, that's where I am. So I double tapped on the edit. Flick down with one finger.
Delete. Drag Bose Music.
Okay, drag Bose Music. Yep, double tap.
Fossum is editing.
Now let's go to that productivity folder by flicking to the right.
Google Home. Authentic. Nova. HW. Nova
I
is
might have
at
to go the other way.
Google Home. Fossum. Done. Button. Authentic. Nova. HW. Fizz. Eversource. Productivity
is.
folder is editing. 2 apps.
So there's my productivity folder. I'm going to flick down.
Stop editing. Drop Bose Music after productivity. Add Bose Music to productivity folder.
Now.
Drop ready. Drop
Double
complete.
tap. And I added Bose to
3 apps.
productivity. Okay. Now,
Ear catch is editing.
I got to stop editing apps.
Double tap. Stop editing apps. Finished editing.
There we go. Now, I have a productivity folder.
Numbers. Numbers. Pages.
Find it.
By ear cat. NVD. Travels to productivity
There it is.
folder. 3 apps.
Okay.
Double tap to open.
This time,
Rename. Button. Dismiss context. Remove folder. Button.
this time I did something very interesting. I double tapped and held. So instead of a dit, I went did-da, and I held on that second press. It wasn't just a 2 taps. It wasn't just dit. It was did-da. You press hard on that second tap, okay? And some options come up with the folder here. So let's start near the top left.
Dismiss context menu.
Okay.
Button.
If I didn't want to do anything here, I would double tap to dismiss this and just, I didn't mean to do this. But let's flick right.
Dismiss remove
We'll
folder.
go left,
Button.
actually. So you heard that bong?
Dismiss
It wouldn't let me go
context
right.
menu.
So let's go
Button.
left.
Remove folder. Button.
I could remove the folder, but I don't really want to do that. I'm going to flick left again.
Edit home screen. Button.
Edit on the home screen. I'm going to flick left.
Rename. Button.
Rename. I want to rename this folder. See, after the fact, you can still rename the folder. Double tap.
Bose Music. Folder name. Text field. Is editing. Productivity selected. Character mode.
All right.
Use clear text. ChatGPT.
Let's-
Is edit. Clear. Folder name. Text field. Is editing. Productivity selected. Character mode.
Let's call it.
Cap L. Delete. Selection deleted. Delete.
I deleted what was in there, I believe. Let's make sure.
ChatGPT. Folder name. Text field. is editing. Character
Yeah,
mode.
I hit the
Insertion
delete key
point at
button
start.
once. The keyboard comes up.
Use
It's
the
a little
rotor
bit,
to
this
access
is a little bit more advanced, but the keyboard comes up and there's a delete button near the bottom right, up about a solid inch or so. And I tapped on that to get rid of the suggested productivity name. And let's just call this testing.
Cap E. The.
So,
Cap E. Cap I. Cap A.
hold on.
Cap T.
There we go.
Cap T. F E E S S T T I I N N Y G G space testing.
Okay, I called it testing. Now, you could dictate that. However, when I'm on this recording, I cannot do that, okay? There's a dictate button on your phone for me, or your iPad. For me, it's in my lower right.
Dictate.
Okay, and I could have dictated the title, but this is overriding that, and I had to type. So you get a little bit of a hint on what's to come down the road for typing and editing using VoiceOver. Okay, so I entered that new name. Okay, let's
Wordle is editing. Character Chat
Flick
GPT
left.
is clear tag. Folder name. Text field is editing. Testing.
Flick left
Character
again.
Mode. Microphone in use. Microphone in use.
And
Delete. Done.
done is in the bottom right. Okay, done.
Done. Folder name. Testing. Text field.
There we go.
Double tap to edit Chat GPT.
Now let's just close this out like we close any app. Last time we learned how to close an app. If you have a home button, you press it lightly once. If you do not have a home button, you have to slide from the very, 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 very bottom up until you hear 2 blips and let go. So it's like blip, blip, and then you let go.
Finish app switcher.
And I'm going to do it again.
Active. Testing. Heading. Closing testing folder.
There we go.
Testing folder. Home.
All right.
Weather.
I'm
Portsmouth.
on my home screen. Let's go to page 3
Health folder.
to that and
Four
see if we can
apps.
find the testing folder.
Page 2 of 3. Page 3 of 3.
Okay.
Fossum. Google Home. Authentic. Nova. HW. FIS. Eversource. Testing folder.
There it is.
3 apps.
Testing folder.
Double tap to open.
Testing folder, 3 apps. Double tap to open. So I'm going to double tap with one finger to open it.
Opening testing folder. Chat GPT. Wordle. Bose Music.
So there's our 3 apps we have in there. What a combination, huh? You can also move an app out of a folder if you want to, just by, all right, so I'm on the Bose app. Say I don't want it in this testing folder anymore. What you hear is where you are, so you could flick down.
Edit mode.
All right, so I'm going to double tap to edit.
Started editing.
I'm going to flick down again.
Delete. Drag Bose Music.
I want to drag Bose Music, so I'm going to double tap there.
Chat GPT is editing.
Okay, and then we're going to get out of this folder.
Closing testing
And
folder.
I used the
Testing
scrub
folder
gesture.
Is editing.
The scrub
3
gesture
apps.
is just when you take 2 fingers and you wiggle them back and forth like a bunch of Z's, and it will take you back a layer. And so now I'm on page
Search. Page 3 of 4.
3 of all my
Adjustable.
apps, right? Let's say I want to put it on page 4.
Doc. Safari. Search. Doc. Search. Page 3 of 4.
Let's go
Adjustable.
up with one finger to go to page 4.
Activate to open page 4 of 4. Empty page.
Empty page. I'll flick down
Cap E. Actions. Move Bose Music to empty page.
and let's
Drop
double
ready.
tap with one finger.
Drop complete. Bose Music. Stop editing apps.
And I
Finished
flick
editing.
down. I flick down to stop editing apps, and I double tapped, so I'm not editing anymore. So now I have 4 pages of apps. Let's go
Current
back here
weather.
to the home
App
screen.
switcher. Doc. Safari.
Okay, now I'm
Search.
going to take 3 fingers and
Languages
change
folder.
pages,
3
3
apps.
fingers vertical, and slide from
Double
right
tap
to left.
open. Page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4. Page 4 of 4. Bose Music.
And there's that Bose Music app in page 4. I took it out of the testing folder. The same thing can happen. I don't really want to move things out of my dock, but I could just put it down in here, and I could overlay it, my dock.
Doc. Phone.
I could, again, see, watch. If I'm on my dock and I'm on phone,
Phone.
the same
tap.
menu will come up if I flick down.
Edit mode.
See, I could edit and double tap on edit.
Started editing. Delete.
If I flick down, I could delete phone. I could flick down again.
Drag phone.
I could drag phone and move it out of the dock somewhere else and then put something in the dock.
right? Instead, I could flick down again. Activate. Default. Stop editing apps. I'm going to stop editing apps by double tapping with one finger. Finished editing. Okay. So I'm going to go make sure I'm back on my home screen. And that's by closing any apps, right? So you want to press the circle lightly once or slide all from the bottom and go bloop, bloop, and then let go. Weather, Portsmouth. And I know weather is on my home screen, so I did a little verification of that. So what is this search button? Say you can't find an app. If you can't find an app on your phone, you also have two methods to bring up that spotlight to search for an app. I could touch that bottom area where we heard a whole bunch of stuff about an inch from the bottom middle. Search, page 1 of 4, adjustable. Activate to open spotlight. Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value. If I want to double tap here, top search result. Spotlight messages, comes up. 10 calendar. Okay. Safari. And a bunch of apps show up as suggestions Zoom. That you've last looked for. Siri suggestions. Or been in. Messages. Siri suggestion. Siri messages. Weather. Zoom. Camp exciting event. Recents. See, I have a whole bunch of apps in there that I could find or I could search. And that would mean dictating or typing, which is a little bit down the road in our lessons. So I won't do that right now. But let's close this like any other app. Slide up. If you don't have a home button, bloop, bloop, and let go. Weather. Okay, or you could have pushed the home button once lightly. The other way to get into Spotlight is to simply take 3 fingers in the middle of the screen and slide down. Spotlight. And there it is again. Found. Top search result. Message. Safari. Calendar. There's all these apps. Hey-tel. But you see the keyboard is down here. Delete. And I could type in an app and try to find it. Let's type calendar. X. C. Top search shift A. O. O. L. L. W. E. E. B. N. N. D. D. A. A. R. Go. Go. And then calendar. meet.google.com/m meeting link. Oh, so anyways, calendar. We'll get out of that. But it took me to my calendar. Okay. Entertain. So there's 2 ways to get into that spotlight. There's 2 ways to turn pages of apps. You can, do all this stuff in more than one way most of the time. So to conclude, some of the things we've learned some of the language of what apps and tiles and icons are. We have learned about the layout of apps in the grid. We talked about our favorites in the docking station at the bottom. We talked about being familiar with our apps and knowing maybe how we want to organize them into folders or put them on the edges of your screen and how you'd like to arrange them. It's important to kind of think about that and how you want to design it. You can be your own designer here. It's great. Then we did talk about how to edit and go into the edit field and put it in the drag session and move an app. We added apps into folders. We took apps out of folders. I showed you how to delete an app. What else? We talked about the spotlight, 2 methods to get to the spotlight. And it's really amazing what you can do to arrange your iPhone to be your own experience. Now, the only thing I will show you, the final thing is if I go beyond page 3, right? I have 3 pages of apps. Let's see what happens if I try to keep changing the page. I'm going to use the 3 fingers vertically and swipe from right to left. Page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4. Page 4 of 4. Well, I did put one in that last page, didn't I? I put an app here. Let's go one more. Let's swipe 3 fingers vertically and swipe from right to left. Showing app library. There's the app library. Here's the app library. Here's where everything goes. If you want to move it off the home screen, but you still want to keep it, it would show up in this library. I just wanted to show it to you today. You can peruse this at your own leisure, but it is beyond the last page of apps. You would have a library, and you can go in there and peruse that and explore. Okay, so it's beyond the last page of apps. If you kept going, you would have a library. So that was what it was getting at. When I deleted an app and it gave me choices, I could just remove it off the home screen, but keep it in the library. Okay,
But also remember, even if you delete an app entirely, if you get rid of an app that you've paid for or free, you still own it. If you ever went to bring it back, you would still own it. It would still be yours. It would just say re-download, and then you can open. You wouldn't have to pay for it again if you bought it once, or deleted it and it was free. You'd still get it back easily. So there you have it. There is the conclusion of
Bose music. Weather.
There's the conclusion of lesson 2 on an introduction to VoiceOver, exploring apps.
Screen recording.